Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to our channel. This is my interview experience. One of the recent attended interview. I'm going to share my complete experience as well as some key questions I have noted down. And at the end, I will provide a few additional tips like what are the best practices you need to follow and how to prepare for if you are preparing for interview. And this video is especially targeting for those who are planning to attend interviews. For them it might be helpful, and for me also it is like one kind of revision and it will be helpful for my future also. So without further ado, let's enter into a video. In each and every interview we know like there will be a common question like introduce about yourself and day-to-day activities. Some interviewer will just ask introduce about yourself. Later they will proceed with what is your actual daily task. Let's say from the day you entered into your desk till day out, what is your task like that. Some interviews they will ask just introduce and include all about you in the same liner. At that time tell about your introduction and your day-to-day activities and try to complete within like a 2 to 2.5 minute. Within 2 minutes try to complete. If you have more experience, let's say 2 to 3 companies you have worked, then you need to add some more pointers while explaining, and try to target recent like work experience and recent activities what you have done, and highlight those like recent company activities only majorly. And coming to the questions, they started with what is like monitoring, especially in AWS service. I came with the AWS CloudWatch. It is a monitoring service which is provided by AWS. In that particularly, there is a logs matrix, some alarms, dashboards inside the AWS Cloud. And the next question was AWS pipeline stages. What are the different stages in AWS pipeline? Let's say there is a full-fledged. This was a service actually, AWS pipeline. Uh, by using these pipelines, there is a we can manage full-fledged CI/CD tool for automating the every task, like different tasks. And the stages are there is a source code we need to fetch. That is a source code management, or else git clone we can say based on the source code where it was stored. That may be GitHub, GitLab, or S3, whatever it may be. That was the one stage, and we need to build that and test that, deploy, and these are the major stages. Get fetch the source code, build, test, deploy, and based on the approval we need to proceed. How to troubleshoot especially a virtual machine. I considered let's say in AWS, um, it will be a quite similar whatever the cloud service may be. I generally consider AWS and frame that question accordingly. And interviewer also okay for, let's say, if you consider any cloud platform, and explain the scenario. What will be your approach? Interviewer wants to know what will you do in that particular scenario. We need to first check the instance status, whether it is like running or stopped from AWS. In AWS from console also we can check, and AWS CLI also we can check whether it is running or not. And review the logs. We need to review logs and metrics to check any performance issues, like any CPU or high utilization, and disk input output, or any memory issues. Check the instance connectivity, like use especially SSH, a secure shell connection, or else use in Windows especially you can use RDP connection, a remote desktop server. In Windows it is defaultly there, you can check. And you need to connect the instance and check the uh, health, whether it is able to connect or not. And inspect the security groups and network ACLs. That will ensure the correct ports are open and instances are communicatable. Okay. And the next question was It was kind of a scenario question where what is AWS credentials, and in AWS, the resource is can be created by using a AWS Linux machine, but in Azure credentials, it cannot be created in Azure cloud. What is the main reason like that? I mean, to be frank, I'm exactly not sure about this particular answer. I went, I mean, in interview, uh, tell like I majorly worked on AWS cloud, and uh, to be frank, I exactly don't know the reason for this. And interviewer said, "Okay, okay, no issue," and he started explaining the answer. In some interviewers, like there will be some interviewers, they will, if we don't know, like there will be okay, okay, and they will proceed with the next question. And some interviewers, there will be they will try to tell what is maybe the answer for that. In this question, I mean actually thought like in AWS we can create the resources by using the Linux machine, and in Azure we cannot create. I mean, this was the like actual thing. This was the truth, I believe. Later, I get to know after his answer, there might be some missing roles or assigned to that particular resource, or else that particular user by root user, and subscription of group issues are there, or any resources, and any user credentials issues are there. Later, he explained this might be the various, I mean, there might be various scenarios. And there will be, I mean, if someone is asking, especially interviewers, there might be a different uh, perspective. Okay, so try to understand like first perspective, what might be this, then later proceed. And coming to the next question, best security practices to write a Docker file. I explained like we need to use minimal base images, and we need to we are not supposed to run the image from root user, and we need to use the image updated, and we need to use multi-staged file, and there will be vulnerability scanning should be enabled, especially tools like Trevi, Fortify, like that. And in Kubernetes, they asked about what is Kubernetes config file. Commonly, a kube config that especially contains what are the necessary uh, like information to connection. I mean, to build a connection or interact with Kubernetes clusters. And about he asked about context in Kubernetes. I used some comments like kubectl config, use context, and some context name like that. It is especially to, I mean, it was used to interact with some users or some clusters, and I properly haven't, I mean, explained the like answer for this. And I know like to interact with the users, and to let's say it is easier to switch between different Kubernetes clusters. I know or tell that. And explain about readiness and liveliness of probes in Kubernetes. I know about this particular readiness and liveliness. Readiness actually ensures the pod is ready and ready to serve the particular traffic, whatever it is coming. Liveliness is nothing but it ensures the pod is up and running and giving a responsive. Uh, and what is the difference between a managed identity and service principle? Uh, I think I thought it is in the general perspective, and as a AWS perspective, a service identity in AWS, it is automatically managed by a cloud provider by AWS only. We don't need to manage any, I mean, anything manually. And service principle is used by an applications or services to access different resources. In the name itself, it's the service principles, whatever the service. And let's say if requires any manual configurations of credentials, especially like a client ID and client secret or something. This particular service principle enables a security uh, for these particular identities. And how do you create 5 instances or virtual machines at once using a Terraform? This is a kind of a practical question, and he asked the exact like your approach. What is your approach? While this particular question, I mean, he started asking to share your screen or take any a code editor platform or something, a notepad like that, and can you show the approach like that. Initially he asked like, do you know about this, how to create later I said yes. Then he asked to share the screen. Later I shared my screen and I opened up notepad, and uh, I write down kind of script where it is in a HCL format, and the file format whatever we are creating for this particular resource was .tf. Why? Because we use EAC as a tool, that is Terraform, and in that particular thing we need to specify the resource first, like whatever the, let's say if you are using Azure cloud, we need to specify Azure instance. If it is AWS, we need to specify resource under double quotes AWS. And let's say for example, we need to create in this case 5 instances, right? We need to give the count first. Count is equal to 5, and we need to specify the AMI image. It will get from AWS console, and instance type we need to give. Instance type is equal to, there are different instance types: T2 micro, T2 large, T3. Some lot of instance types will be there. We need to specify instance type whatever we need, and tags. If we require any tags, we can give the tag a name, like any name which we want, and we need to close the file with a flower bracket. And this is kind of a last question, and it is kind a scenario based question, practical question. Let's say if your team member changed or added a resource manually in cloud platform, and how will Terraform knows that particular resource was changed or added additionally? This particular question I too don't have a proper answer, and I know about a state file. I mean, Terraform actually maintains a state file to track about all the resources, and I'm not able to properly communicate this particular answer. How we do? I mean, this will approach, and if you know the answer for this particular question, please let me know, and it might be helpful for me also, and I do some research on this also. And yeah, this is my experience of my recent interview. And later, I mean, at the end of the interview you might know like what will be the like whether the interview experience is positive or negative, or what might be the further update. It will go for second interview or not, I mean second round of interview or not. It will get to know mostly in the first round itself. And after this particular question, he said like, okay, we are good for now. And yeah, this is from my side. Do you have any further questions? I mean, that was the last question he asked, and I'm not able to answer. I thought like it is kind of inter I mean inter sorry, what I need to say, interruption in mid of the day, and there is no proper ending of the interviews. And sometimes it may happen for, I mean, this kind, I mean, like this also. So don't worry. Yeah, try to give your best and prepare more for further and obviously each and every day you will get a good experiences and obviously new learnings and new experiences that might be helpful for your future endeavors. Okay, and yeah, I will going to share further more information in upcoming videos, and any experiences I will definitely share. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.